Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee to one Jennings. Jennings makes the catch. Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, April 17th. The Vols just clinched their fifth. You heard that right. The fifth SEC series win. Got off to a bumpy start, but man, what a weekend. And then before we really get into baseball, I do want to give a shout out to the softball team. Fur coats, grand slams, walk-offs. They've done it all tonight, Landon. That win over Texas A&M. What a bomb.
That's incredible. But let's also give a round of applause to the umpires for actually letting them actually celebrate like that.
Hey,
right?
what would a sport be if it was fun? All right. As Kev said, you've got Ace Ventura. You've got Ben Stiller. I can't remember the nursing home attendant. Don't remember his name in Happy Gilmore. We're in his world now, grandmas. So what a weekend though. And Friday was rough, obviously, but it bounced back like that against I thought an Alabama team who they were giving you fits. I mean, obviously, Sunday you just kind of run away with it with the help of Trey Lipscomb and Jarrell Ortega and even Cortland Lawson gets in on the action with a ground rule double. But they definitely tried their best to hang around Saturday. Feel like the score, maybe it was because we lost Friday. The score, it felt a lot closer than the score told you.
Yeah, I mean, we're going into the eighth inning. It's a one-run ball game if that ball doesn't go right through Cortland Lawson's legs. So how different does that game look when you have one run to get rather than 3 or 4? So
right.
Yeah, it sucks the way that it seemed like Tennessee was struggling. Everything was a pop-up. I'm not going to sit here and say it was the wooden bats or whatever it was, but if Tony Vitello today is just like 4 games, worth it. If that's what needed to be done, it was definitely worth it.
Well, yeah, and I think I hope everyone can agree. The thing I'm frustrated with is he never should have gotten. I don't know why he got ejected, and I'd be interested to find out. Here's my take: if you're an ump, unless you're trying to calm someone down, and unless he says something about your mama or something, if you're yelling at the coach, you got to let him yell back at you. You can't just chew him out and expect nothing back. You're not free from criticism.
Yeah.
So he was not trying to calm him down. In fact, Frank Anderson, the home plate umpire on Saturday night, I thought was trying to calm Frank down. Nothing was going on. Third base, sorry, he was the chief of the umpire crew. So, all the powers that come with that. He gets to run in and toss somebody, and he's not even involved.
The stash or
yeah.
what? I don't even know what that was. The Fu Manchu.
I'll toss you out of this podcast right now, Landon. I got that power. I'm the chief tonight. But no, I mean it's just frustrating. It seemed like that Jeffrey did all he did to make it tough on Tennessee, and Tennessee responds. And I was, I think Tennessee fans who, not that I'm a big baseball fan, and I kind of forgot this until people started mentioning it. Many times managers will gladly go and get tossed to get their team fired up. Tony saw a two-run skid it's not – you got to keep it in perspective. A loss to Tech midweek isn't the worst thing in the world. A loss to a Friday quality ranked SEC opponent isn't the end of the world. Those losses come. Are they disappointing? Sure. He saw that what a lot of Tennessee fans saw, I'm sure. we got to get him fired up. And if it takes me getting ejected, I'm sure he would like to have the 4 games back. But if it takes me getting ejected, so be it. And I think surely every Tennessee fan can agree that unfortunately you can't touch. I know everyone would have liked to get their hands on that little man this weekend, but you can't. It's part of it, and you just take your suspension and let's go beat Florida without him too.
Well, he should be back for Sunday's game.
Sunday, right? Yeah, he'll be back Sunday.
Yes, I mean, I was gonna use it. I wasn't hoping he was suspended for that game, but I was like, he just didn't want to go to Florida. I mean, who the hell would want to?
He tried to get out of it, but they suspended him for today. So
yeah,
it was a great weekend though. A lot of I think Friday night.
You seem like you had fun. Your voice tells the kind of whole story there.
And I think, I've decided today, I realized, which I was much calmer today because I couldn't yell. It was just impossible. I tried to get some, my words in to Jeffrey on second. I know he heard me. Every time someone yelled his name, that's when he put his hand behind his back. He heard. Not just me, everybody. The Oompa Loompa joke was solid. A lot of good stuff getting thrown out there, but it's much easier to yell at baseball games because the umpires and the other team hears you. Football, one game a year I might lose my voice, but nowhere near as bad as this.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I know this is a family-friendly show, but I just want to clarify. Do you know what a circle jerk is? Because I'm not aware.
All right, let's tell that story.
You have to. You have to.
Friday night, like Caleb said it best. It was something out of a movie. So we're sitting there, me, Matt, and Caleb, and there's a family sitting behind us. It's a younger teenager, probably early high school. His mom, I guess 2 siblings, younger siblings, like 7, 8, both boys, and then I guess a dad. And Alabama, they let runners on, so they come in, huddle up, talk to the pitcher, and the teenager just yells, "Circle jerk!" And I thought it was funny, my immature self. So I look back and I'm like gonna tell him like, "Hey, good one." As soon as I start to say it, one of his younger siblings turns to his mom and is like, "Mom, what's a circle jerk?" And without hesitation, this mom just rears back and is like, "No." She was getting if he would have been a little bit if he wasn't laid back in the seat, he would have got freaking smacked right in the mouth.
Says it 4 times, and finally she's like, "Stop saying it."
Stop. Yeah.
It was awesome. Wish maybe the broadcast mics were there. Probably better than what Bob was doing.
Dude, oh my God. Okay, let's get into that.
Tennessee hit it. Tennessee hit a grand slam today. First base clearing double. Then a grand slam until finally the production crew figured out it was just a ground rule double.
Good God. I was watching the good thing is I go to the game, so I don't have to listen to that crap. But I feel so bad. And you tweet out the calls of some of these, like Trey Lipscomb's home run. Dead. Him and Todd Helton act like, he hit a ground ball to second base. It was awful.
It's bad. I hope
I love Todd Helton, VFL. Appreciate him.
He's not a color guy, dude. He's not. He doesn't have it in his voice. I'm sorry.
No, can we get somebody with, a pulse?
Right. Absolutely. Especially for a team like this, a team that you're going to get you should get a lot of great calls. You get a lot from John Wilkerson. You get some from, I don't know who the play-by-play guy who's normally on. He's a younger guy. He was the color guy, I think, with Packer. I think he does a great job.
Is that Hoover?
Hoover has done some. He does great too. There's a younger guy though that does it too. I just can't remember his name. I think he does a great job. And listen, I know when you're in that booth, you're technically kind of like SEC guy. You're not Tennessee, but I also think the guys did a great job of getting bringing that level for big moments from the other team. But listen, you're a Tennessee guy. Let your colors show. You're first off, you're hired by the Vol Network. If the SEC wants SEC guys in there, they can start doing it. They can start doing the broadcast.
Right.
But you're a Tennessee guy. Are the other fans going to hate you? Sure. Do the other fans already probably hate Todd Helton? Probably. Just own it. Own who you are. Love the orange. This weekend should have been fun for everyone involved. It was a great time in Lindsey Nelson, besides Friday. But yeah, it was, and I like what Scott Cawthorn just said. Any series win over Alabama feels so much sweeter. Friday night hurt. It sucked.
Yeah, it did.
And no disrespect to Alabama. I mean, they're a good team. They're ranked and they're fairly hot right now. So we knew it was going to be a tough game. I felt a loss. This felt like the week that a loss could come. I felt like it was a tough week. Coming off of a pretty emotional series against Missouri where you did have to dig in and fight. It just kind of felt like this could be the week with the teams you faced. It's just It's baseball. It is what it is. It's sports. Those losses come. But yeah, credit Tennessee. That win over Alabama is, like Scott said, it's always nice. You can't beat that feeling.
Yeah, and it was a tough matchup when you look at where it was. Like, coming off a series like you mentioned where you kind of struggled a little bit pitching wise. Chase Burns didn't have a great outing against Missouri. Dolander kind of run into some trouble. He picked it up against Missouri, but he struggled early on and then found his way. But then you're running this Alabama team, like you mentioned, they're hot. They have a ton of lefties, so it seemed like every fly ball they hit went out.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. Is Tennessee did try to limit those home runs to solos, which is if you're going to they attack the plate. Listen, when you throw a lot of hittable balls, you're going to get a lot of balls hit. It's just it is how it is. Mm-hmm. And credit to Alabama, they did their best to take advantage of it. That one in the first today was a no doubter, and they hit the ball. I think probably the best as a team that anybody has.
I would say that, yeah.
So credit to them in that regard.
And sure. I was told they were led by their pitching staff, and I mean, especially Saturday and Sunday, Tennessee rocked.
Well, and I think Saturday it took you kind of getting to the bullpen. You kind of had to get past the first guy before you started rolling.
Mm-hmm. But even Friday, like we hit a lot of we found a lot of barrels, and they were just unfortunately went right to somebody. I think you or somebody said it today. Like, how many times have we lined out to the center fielder
today, man? I'm like, y'all are lucky we play on y'all lucky it ain't a big park, or you might have seen more flyouts because there were some close ones. Trey hit off the freaking yellow line in right center. Mm-hmm. Would have been his second home run.
Yeah,
or third. Would that have been his third? Wouldn't help. I don't know. I took a nap today. I don't know if
that would have been his third. Yeah, that double. Yeah. Which is insane. I mean, the fact that I think Luke and Jordan Beck tied last season with 15 home runs to lead the team.
Yeah.
And they played 68 games, and we're through 33 or 36. And Trey Lipscomb has 15 already. So pretty insane the season he's having.
Home run king for sure. Yeah. And I like Jordan Fry mentioned it in the Twitter here, Twitter chat, that it was good to finish. It's great to finish on that strong note before you do got to go to Florida. That'll be a tough series. Florida's playing good ball right now. So to get out there, to get Chase Beam, who's been your best pitcher on the staff, continues to be your best starter. Drew Beam. Get a performance. Drew Beam. I've called him Chase Beam 8 times. Drew Beam.
You're gonna stick the whole Chase thing. Chase.
There's got it. I think we should change his name. But good to finish on that note. And then I told you on probably like 5th or 6th inning, I was like, the fielding this weekend has been so much better. I thought Trey Lipscomb played a lot better. Mm-hmm. Cortland Lawson continues to be Cortland Lawson. I think he did, struggle a little bit Friday. I think he had an error, but overall, you get the games from Lipsius. You're always going to get. Jarrell had a great line out that he caught Friday, I think, and he's playing better ball at second too. So your infield's just been real strong. And then Evan Russell, I mean, he hadn't played catcher at the collegiate level until this year, and he might be one of the best in the SEC. I mean, he's been phenomenal. He's also got to catch 104 every other game, which isn't easy.
Right. Yeah. Definitely don't want to do that. You mentioned the errors. Cortland Lawson did have that one error in Friday night's game that kind of, I don't want to say took the air out of you're kind of maybe a rally late in that game, but it just 3 runs is hard to come by when you only got 6 outs left. So that was tough. But Creedence mentioned in here that Lipscomb flashed the leather. Yeah, I think it was first, second inning where he goes and gets one right at the line and guns the guy out at first. I mean, that's what Tennessee's kind of been about since Tony Vitello's taken over. They kind of worked on that defense, and then the offense came later on. And now you got both of them working for you. You got the pitching working for you, and that's why you see this team number 1 right now. So, I mean, pretty crazy how things worked out this weekend. Tennessee gets the series win, but Chase Burns struggles again. Only pitched 3 innings. Dollander goes out after the first.
And could be back for Florida, thankfully. So
Yep. Yeah, doesn't seem like anything's broken out there. So, he was in a sling. So hopefully you get him back pretty soon. So, and then
Dollander gets banged up. You get Camden Sewell in there who plays good, but also takes one off the foot. Then maybe tweaks the hamstring. And man, what a performance from him to be banged up. It would really suck to go to your third pitcher of the night in the second inning, I think is when he got hit. So to stay in there and man,
got some kahunas on you.
Him. Yeah, what a performance from him in a game that was definitely chippy.
Yeah, props to him. I mean, freaking Iron Man. He would go cover first base on some of those that were hit to that left side over there, and I mean, he was limping bad.
Yeah.
But props to him.
Iron Man
just shoved it for those, I think 4, and ended up getting the win. I think he pitched 4 and a third, maybe. So that was huge for Tennessee because you're like, all right, Chase Burns didn't have a great day yesterday. Dollander's out. Crap. Let's see how good this bullpen is because, Vanderbilt, again, going back to that series, you only use 4 relievers the entire series.
Right.
So it's good to see them kind of get that work. And, Camden Sewell has struggled a little bit, but, he shoved it against Alabama. And that was huge for Tennessee to get that win. And, again, go ahead.
I was just saying another credit to this pitching staff. You didn't have your normal guy calling pitches, and I think that does show how consistent the staff is and how on the same page they are. But there's definitely got to be a little bit of difference in terms of maybe flow and what's coming up next and stuff.
Yeah,
maybe in the same as it was last weekend with Frank Anderson not calling them. So for them to kind of step in there and like we said, Dollander gets hurt, which Frank was calling for those pitches, and then Camden comes in, and it's just. It is a different gosh is what it is today. Drew Beam has Elander calling them and not Frank Anderson. It's got to change up a little bit, and they don't miss a beat. Credit to them for just battling and definitely trusting a guy who hadn't called pitches this year.
Yeah, maybe Elander calls Drew Beams from now on because the kid had a career high in strikeouts.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, really cool to see. You talked about how they didn't really miss a beat.
Credit to Elander. Credit to him. Let's give him a pay raise. Let's make sure he stays around in Knoxville. Calm, cool, collected. He knows the staff he's on. He loves it. He knows his role. He knew he couldn't get tossed from that game. Credit to him. Credit to the entire staff. Those guys kind of picking up, and credit to Tony for having that foundation and that trust where guys can do it and not miss a beat. Credit to the team for rolling with it. Definitely could have been a hindrance having those 2 guys gone, very involved with game day operations. It's one's your head coach and one's your pitching coach. So could have been a different story, and staff and team did not miss a beat at all.
Yeah, you talked about on this show like the backup goalies who like it could end up like bringing somebody like out of the stands. That's happened before,
right? In hockey, you get the emergency goalies.
Like at what point would they actually like how many ejections of coaches would they have to go through
for Danny White's in the dugout
before me or you are out there? It's not like football where you have a gazillion coaches. I mean, you got a handful.
I sent a text trying to get in there Saturday night, so I put the thought out there just in case Tony needs an injection later on in the season.
Yeah,
you can put me in a hotel room in Omaha just in case.
Yeah, just give me a windbreaker. I'll be ready to go anytime you need us.
Or I'll tell you what, if Tennessee has Jeffrey behind home plate again, why don't you just bring me out and I'll get injected?
Yeah,
you don't have to pay me for it.
I'll bump the shit out of him.
4 games is nothing to me.
Yeah, whatever. Just put me in that MVP room for for those 4 games. I'll be good.
Yeah, Zerk was 2 heartbeats away for sure. I was him coming. We talked about
professional
him.
Get back coach.
For sure, we asked him about the kid. What he say or do. He said I didn't touch him. Didn't say anything. It was just a buffer. He was out of the dugout pretty quick after the bump. So shout out to Zerk for taking care of business too.
Here you go. Also, Jeffrey doesn't even know how to take a charge. It's pretty sorry. That's a block all day.
Yeah, that was
he was about to toss him again. He turned around like he was about to toss him again.
He should have, man. He should have.
Yeah,
I like the Bobby Cox comparisons. I'm digging those.
I like that.
So,
I mean, I just don't like. So, from what I've heard about what actually transpired is Alabama was tipping pitches. It was that first base coach, and I'm sure there was a little. Frank was pissed also because the inning should have ended as soon as the batter steps out of the box,
right,
and is not given time. Whatever that pitch is, if that pitch is thrown, it's a strike. It doesn't matter where it's at. It's a strike. Yeah. That would have been strike 3. That would have been 3 outs. End of inning. Well, they called it a ball, and then the next pitch, he hits it right back up to Dolander. So there was that. Frank was pissed about that. Well, Ricky, all that transpired. Well, I don't understand why Frank Anderson. You mentioned it earlier. Why was Frank Anderson tossed? It looks like it was kind of the end of his rant and walking back to the dugout when he gets tossed. And it wasn't really. He wasn't even talking to Jeffrey.
Right.
And then that's when Vitello comes out and has words. And
your job is to calm it down, and you did not do that. You escalated it.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's 5 feet of turf in between Jeffrey and Vitello. It looks like he's almost done with his rant, and he's tossed.
And I think a lot of that, you got to go earn it.
Yeah, absolutely. Get your money's worth. But I felt like it was personal because it carried over from Friday night. I mean, the guy missed 57 strikes or balls in a game behind home plate. That's awful.
Oh, it's unexcusable. And
Tennessee is one of the most disciplined teams in the country. If they're not even check swinging, it's a ball.
Yeah, and I'll even say this. Listen, you have off nights. 57 is obviously absurd, but you have off nights. You can't let that carry over to your next game.
No,
you got them for 2 more games. Listen, you had a bad night. Okay, done. It stays there Friday night. Same as a player should. You have a good night and the coaches are on you. It stays on the field. It's got to stay on. It's got to stay there. And the next night, first off, your job ain't behind home plate anymore. So if that's what you're worrying about, you're worrying about the wrong thing.
Yep.
So if you're worried about balls and strikes that night, it's not your job. It's not your job.
Yeah, just don't get it. And then their first base coach ends up getting thrown out because he's jawing back and forth with Ricky Martinez because I'm sure it was said, hey, stop tipping pitches or whatever, whatever you say to him. But why is that first base coach so close to our dugout?
Well, you shouldn't, and you should
never be.
You shouldn't be looking in the dugout either. If you're looking in the dugout, you're wrong.
Yeah.
And
some of those kids are under 18. That's weird on his part anyway.
And then you had the first base ump on Saturday night who couldn't stop looking in the stands. Boy was rattled. Man was rattled. Apologies. Yeah, it was an interesting night for sure in Lindsey Nelson. Saturday was just, and I was telling somebody today, I was like, at the end of it was the top of the first. So we're in the middle of the first. Yeah, all that happens. Everyone's yelling. Everyone's going nuts. Once it all kind of settles down, I'm like, oh my God, it's just the first inning.
Yeah.
Like, it does not feel like the first inning now.
Right. Yeah, that was like a whole game in a top of an inning. We didn't even get to finish the first one.
And then Tennessee gets theirs. They get a 2-piece in the bottom just to tell Jeffrey,
Yeah, just
you know,
Mike Concho doing Mike Concho things. Also, I love that he got that whole racing suit.
Yeah, I'd like to know how that transpired, how that happened.
That NIL deal, you think?
Yeah, oh yeah. Speaking of NIL, Kirby, come on the show, brother. I'll get you a hat.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll get you a hat. Don't worry. But no, it's a great weekend to be at Vol. Great win over Alabama. Let's do it again next week in Florida. I mean, Tennessee just continues to create separation in the SEC. And then you've got Arkansas, who I thought was just the classiest program ever. I thought they just played ball. And they're worrying about the team in the East that they don't even play. As it stands right now, you will not play Tennessee this year. Because I don't know why you're banking on seeing us in the tournament. You shouldn't be banking on that. But yeah, just to throw that one out there and act like you don't worry about Tennessee, you're watching.
Yeah, and at any time, like, I don't even know if Arkansas won today because I literally do not care.
Don't care.
But they are obsessed with Tennessee, absolutely obsessed. Anything Tony Vitello does, any kind of picture that's taken, they're saying, classless and, oh, Dave Van Horn will never do anything like that. Dave Van Horn was in the middle of the argument last year. It's not like he was trying to walk away and Tony Vitello bumped him. No.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's just hilarious to me too, and the things they call Tennessee classless for, which I meant to mention this earlier too. I didn't see at all. We left the stadium pretty quickly, so I don't know if more took place. I have no problem with Alabama's celebration on Friday night. In fact, it's an honor. Celebrate like you just won the World Series because you just beat the best team in the country, and it ain't going to happen 2 more times this weekend. So yeah, live it up. What I will say is if it did go too far, and I would always say this as a coach or a player, it's baseball, guys. We turn around and play these guys 2 more times. Let's remember that. Let's enjoy this win, but let's not enjoy it too much because we got them tomorrow. This one could be very short-lived, and it was. But I had no problem with the celebration. And I think a lot of people, I think it was Will Mabry in postgame mentioned that, yeah, it kind of fired him up how hard they celebrated. I don't see it. That's not being mad about it, saying they shouldn't do it. That's being mad about it. Like, thank you for giving us more fuel. We'll use it. We need this fire to be stoked a little bit. We appreciate it. So I don't have a problem with, I think it was, if it wasn't Will, I'm sorry, Will the Thrill. But I don't have any problem with whoever's comments those were. I think it's part of the sport. I think everybody on that Tennessee staff and team, they know how much they piss people off across the country, and they're okay with it because they're like, come beat me. We'll celebrate and come beat me.
And because we're not worried about anybody else. We're worried about the game in front of us. We're not worried about the team in the West or whatever. I mean, we're just sitting up here doing our thing. We're playing ball.
Yeah.
And we can do it without coaches. I mean, if Dave Van Horn got thrown out of a game, I mean, they would literally run around with their heads cut off.
Well, then Arkansas fans would already be floating out the idea of getting Tony V to Arkansas. Then I love that they float that idea. I love that Arkansas thinks they're the premier program in college. Like, they think they're the Alabama of college baseball, that they can go have their pickings at any coach in the country.
Yeah, great. You're good at one sport.
You're not even good. You haven't even won a championship.
Yeah, how does that Omaha's logo look? They took it off because they didn't even make it. So how stupid do you look now?
Right. Also, I did want to yell. I caught the.
You live in Arkansas. It's terrible. It's the worst state besides Mississippi.
I caught the right fielder. He was looking back an awful lot, Landon, early in the game today. He enjoyed that College World Series banners back there.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had a voice to yell it, I was going to see what he thought of those, if he liked them, because they don't have a lot in Alabama.
I mean, he's horrible, so we would never recruit him. But The transfer portal is a real thing, but you don't have to worry about Tennessee giving you a
No,
call. I saw
you're
that.
good.
I saw that batting average. I will read Will Mabry's quote if you want me to.
So it was Will that said it?
It was,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And like after that, I'm like, oh man, this is kind of Ole Miss vibes. But hey, if you can back it up, hey, talk that talk. This is what he said. He said, "We are already looking on to the next game. We're going to come back hot tomorrow, and they don't really have a chance, in my opinion. They were also partying like they won the World Series, so we'll let them know how it tastes tomorrow." And we did that.
You got to back it up if you're going to say it.
Credence brought up a great point.
They did it.
Alabama's catcher, props to him. He was a really good player for us this week.
He got some MVP chance a couple at bats.
My God.
He didn't like Jeffrey apparently either. He was throwing his heads out down the third base line.
I mean, I wouldn't say Evan Russell is just like a professional catcher at this point, but he could give lessons to Alabama's catcher, and he's played for 1 year, not even a year.
He could help him in every facet of the game.
Right.
That batting average wasn't very strong either.
What about Evan Russell showing off the hose last night?
That man's batting average, I don't remember what it was, but it wasn't impressive. No. Ben Joyce comes into the game before he pitches. He takes a couple, hacks watching him warm up on the mound, and he strolls out there like he's about to get a hit. And he credit to him, he touched a couple foul balls. I won't hate on him there, but he just waved at that last ball to sit down.
Yeah, I was about to say, how did it end?
Yeah, I mean, that just sat him down. So. Yeah, he could use some lessons everywhere from our man from Weigels.
Also, Ben Joyce, does he just? I would love to get him on the podcast because I would love to ask him, does he prefer when we're up by 10 runs to be in the game? Is that just the kind of I like to step on people's throats kind of thing?
Yeah, he's a killer, man. He's cold-blooded, literally.
I mean, because nothing is as disrespectful as being up 10 runs and then throwing Ben Joyce out there.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And to a poor guy who can't hit. Credence mentioned that he couldn't hit off his starter today, who was throwing batting practice in there to our guys at some points.
Oh, 100%. Man, it was so much fun. I had a great time. Because Caleb doesn't get to go to every game, so I love when Caleb gets to go. We like.
I don't get to go to every game. This is my first time going to a full series since it was 2019 when I got to go to a full series. So shout out to I don't know their names. I should have gotten their names. We were leaving the game on Saturday night, and a couple offered me and buddies their tickets because they couldn't make it. So shout out to them for getting me in. I really do appreciate it. I had a great time. Y'all told me to give them hell. I tried the best I could with my voice situation. Jeffrey heard me a couple times, so if that makes you feel any better.
Did you hear the guy next to him? He was like, he was like, "This is my first game ever, and y'all have made it so much fun."
Oh, he shook my hand when he left. Made me feel really good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a fun game, not because of me. I'm glad I made it more fun, but not because of us, the guys that did it. But it was a very fun game, and that's why I do like. I was telling somebody we had, you got MVP seats, and you of course pop down there plenty, but it's a lot of fun to get. You can't. I guess you could, but you probably shouldn't yell some of the things. Not that it's inappropriate, but we just kind of we're on somebody all game, every game when we're out there, and it's a lot of fun. And I know the Legends had Easter this weekend, but I think right field picked it up for them.
Yeah, we just need like a gated, like not a gated, but we need like an area to ourselves in right field, similar to a porch. We don't require any kind of
nothing.
Yeah, we just need a little small piece of railing, and we're good to go.
Exactly. So much fun, and that's why I like right field. It's a good time. Left field got rowdy on Saturday night too. Good to see them get in on the action. The left field line there. That can be a little quiet over there. Maybe a little more family friendly down the left field line. Good to see them get on the action with our main man Jeffrey. I was gonna mention something else too about Saturday, but I lost my train of thought.
I think
But yeah,
Saturday. I think that like Tennessee's the number one team in the country, and you tell them they can't have the fur coat and the daddy hat out when somebody hits a home run. Like we have like 90 home runs. We've done it all season.
Well, then he realizes how wrong he is, and he's like, just in the dugout. Which I'm like, if you're going to tell them they can't put the fur coat on, show me that in the rule book, number one, and then show me where they have to do it in the dugout.
Yeah,
I
mean, what is the real difference in tapping helmets and putting on a fur coat?
I was going to say, you can't let them high five outside the dugout if you ain't going to let them put the fur
right.
coat on.
Celebration is celebration.
Yep, absolutely.
Also, dude, we just hit a freaking bomb. This is a ranked SEC series. Let's celebrate. Let's have some fun. Softball got to have some fun today. Let us have some fun.
Well, Jarrell said it best. He was on the radio with John. I think it's Vince that did the call with him today. They had him on, and he said, "I mean, you got to remember, we're playing a kids' game still. Like we're here to have fun, and that's all it is. It's a sport, and it's fun to win. Obviously, it's fun to have fun winning. So I'm glad these guys don't take themselves too serious. They obviously, and it's very clear in the fall and the summer." During the week, those guys go in there and they do take care of business. It is a business to them. You don't get that good, taking yourself lightly. Then they just get to go out there on the games and kind of enjoy themselves. And there's emotion. They're dialed in, but they make sure to enjoy themselves. And those are the guys that are going to play a long time and enjoy the sport. So it's a ton of fun to watch. Yeah,
and I can't wait for the bat flip. It might be tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure. Tomorrow, Wednesday, but there's so many guys you can put MVP. Obviously, you can go Drew Beam, Drell Ortega. I thought had a phenomenal series hitting the baseball. Jordan Beck or Mike Honcho, sorry. Trey Lipscomb continues to rake. I mean, you just so many guys you can put in that kind of MVP category for this weekend. So I can't wait to kind of hash that out with you guys whenever, Monday or Wednesday, whenever that is.
Absolutely. Well,
so what do you do pitching wise? Blade coming in?
As it stands today, I think I don't think I'd move Burns or Beam right now. I think I'm just pitching Blade Saturday at this point. Yeah. Obviously, it'd be great, to have a guy like Blade as your Friday night guy. Nothing against Burns, but he has been struggling, and maybe that makes you think to maybe give him some, let someone else kind of go out there and set the tone Friday night at this point. But it hasn't affected your series. You go in there and the Friday night's obviously tough with a loss, but last Friday you still get the win. This weekend you still win the series, even with the not great game from Friday night. And it wasn't just Chase Burns. I'm not saying that. But I don't think you necessarily need to mess with the full order. I think he could go. I think you could just slot him in there Saturday. I was a little shocked, which I think Camden's a great option. He has been in that long reliever plenty of times. I thought you might see Blade Saturday night come in there and give you more of what a starter, which I know Camden has, played that starter role. He did it once in Hoover last year, but I thought maybe you see him Saturday night. I don't hate the decision to go with Camden there, but yeah, I think I would just slide him in on Saturday.
Yeah.
Assuming Dolander's not back.
Yep. Tennessee takes that series 2-1. Would love to got the brooms out, but hey, anytime you beat Alabama is a great day. Just didn't make the same mistakes. You mentioned the errors. Their catcher had 3 on Saturday. They ended up with 4 in the series. We had 1 that was on Friday night, and strikeouts. Tennessee's pitchers 35 strikeouts on the series. Alabama 17. So just again another phenomenal weekend at the plate for Tennessee, being selective. When they see their pitch, they take advantage of it.
You talked about how good Tennessee's at their batters at the plate. They'll give you a lot of, they'll help umps out there. And I think Friday night looked a lot like Tuesday in the terms of they weren't maybe quite as patient. Maybe why you didn't see as many good balls barreled there, and maybe not quite the same Tennessee. You definitely got back to that Saturday and Sunday.
For sure. Yeah, and Tennessee just got batters on. I mean, you look at the home runs. Tennessee had 5 home runs. Alabama, I think, had 4 on the weekend. Tennessee just had runners on. That was the difference in the game. They were drawing walks. They were getting hits. they scored 7 runs, their first 7 runs of the game with 2 outs. So they're just
kids?
Yeah. The rally caps are on, but Tennessee just doesn't make a ton of mistakes. So if you're going to have to play your best baseball to beat them. Alabama did that on Friday night. But hey, you got 3 games, bud.
Yep.
I hope you enjoyed celebrating on our field Friday night, because that was the only celebrating you got to do the rest of the series.
Hey, and I'm being serious, man. It's not a slap in the face to me to see that. It's a lot of teams want to talk, or a lot of people want to talk about, and there are the reasonable fans who recognize how good Tennessee is. Then there's the ones that are going, Tennessee will come back to earth. The ones that always, act like they do the trash talk that Tennessee's not that good, etc. When a team celebrates like that, they don't do that for teams that aren't that good.
Yeah. Also, stop selling your tickets to Alabama fans. Yeah. I should never see an Alabama fan in the MVP room ever.
No.
Ever.
No.
There was a guy.
Football.
This is kind of petty of me, but I don't care. They were behind me in line to get food, and so usually the pan things are up. I closed mine as soon as I was done.
That.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
just a slight jab,
Yeah. What a key.
Open it up yourself.
You gotta make them work.
Open it up yourself.
There was a I had the I think they're called the Camden Crazies, the Georgia Southern team.
Okay.
Talking trash to me on Saturday morning, or just maybe it was this morning. I don't remember. Weekends kind of come all together, which I thought was pretty interesting. We did sweep you guys. They pulled out that they swept Georgia State, who beat us in football, and that somehow makes them better than us at baseball.
4 years ago?
4 years ago, or something like that. That's a different sport.
Okay.
And we played head-to-head this year.
Interesting.
And in their picture, it says the Camden's Crazy. It's 7 dudes who all look 30 years old.
Also, didn't we sweep them last year too?
Was it a sweep last year? I thought maybe they got it. Might have been. And it was at, I guess their name
at Georgia Southern.
Camden.
And we took your best players, so.
Yeah. I if you follow me on Twitter, I would like to formally apologize. I was in a very troll mood this weekend. So if you go to my tweets and replies, they're pretty full. I hope they didn't come up on your timeline, because I do deeply regret that. But after Friday night, that win Saturday, it just really got me fired up. So
yeah.
And after Saturday, listen, guys, I knew where the rubber match was going. There was no question.
So are you keeping the stash? I know Zerk.
Yeah.
He shaved his,
which I respect. I'm not hating.
I did ask where it went, but I'm not about it. But so you're leaving yours?
Oh yeah, especially after this weekend. Okay. I know if we had lost Saturday, I might have had to, just for the team. I'm a team guy. I'm not selfish. I do like it, but if I had to, and I totally. Zerk said he's got to get a new streak going, and I agree. I like that. So I thought about it going into Saturday, and I was like, no, just, hey, trust the process. You've been doing what you do. Everything will just come in here with it's a new day. Mm-hmm. It's Easter weekend, all about redemption. So we'll get going. We're fine. That's good. And we are.
Like that.
Thank you. I had a couple of good Easter throws in there Saturday. All appropriate. I'd like to add all appropriate.
Yeah.
So Jordan did have a good point, Landon, which is where I thought you were going with it. He said he would have loaded up on all the food and made him wait for the next batch to come out.
Oh, that would be good. There was a lot of food left, so I'd have to get a couple more.
And it's 10 plates. Yeah, I was like, where are you going? That would have been solid. Solid. What a fun weekend.
Should have just taken all the plates and made them just get it with their bare hands.
Perfect. They're used to that, though. That's the only thing. They would have felt right at home then.
That's true.
They don't have plates and napkins or silverware.
Tuscaloosers, is that what we're calling them?
Ooh, kind of like that. Now I want to appreciate my Nick Saban jokes, because Will out in right field was wearing. He's the only one that on the field, at least, that was wearing all black cleats. I don't know if he thought he was an Alabama football player or what, but he don't have any business wearing all black cleats. You're not that guy, pal. Yeah. You're not that guy.
No. Nope. Sorry, bud. Great weekend. Let's get into we going football?
We're going football. We do have, I know we kind of talked about Tony on there. Do we get the lemonade stand Tuesday?
I hope so. We'll see against Bellarmine. So that'll be. I hope he does. Free Tony.
Free Tony. Free Tony.
Frank Anderson will be back, but Tony Vitello does get the 4-game suspension, so he will be back Sunday against Florida. Didn't get out of that one. Still got to go. But I mean, he's going to have him prepared. Again, props to Elander for taking over that. I haven't seen Elander do a ton of media, but
Right.
he did have to do it after the game, so that was cool to see that. I haven't ever talked to him before, but I'm sure that might not be in his comfort zone, but he seemed to handle it well and
Absolutely
did the pitches. And, I'm sure he was just like, what the hell when all that went down. And then, he's kind of thrown that, okay, well, I'm in charge now. And then you get more nonsense with the not being able to celebrate home runs. And so, yeah, props to him for handling it the way they did and the rest of that staff doing the same.
Well, and then you also, speaking of the craziness that happened, you also had first base ump who can't keep his eyes and mouth out of the Tennessee dugout. Elander's been third base guy for a while now. I haven't once seen him.
Yeah, why was his butt so wet? It was so weird. Like, how sweaty are you?
Did I say the ump? I was talking about the coach, but yeah, the ump couldn't either. And yeah, he was. It wasn't that warm.
Yeah, I made a joke that he, overused the bidet. Kind of weird that you got to turn that thing off. You can't just let it keep going. But yeah, super fun.
Yeah. Shout out to the Vols, man. Number 1 team in the country. That ain't going to change. I think I hope everyone agrees that you had that trip up Tuesday night, but you knew if the series was Tennessee's, they're going to stay at number 1. Going to take a lot more to knock it off.
Yep, I agree.
So, good deal.
Yeah, football. Before we get into recruiting, let's just go Thursday night. Well, what's your immediate thoughts playing Ball State on Thursday night?
I feel like people are just going to think I'm completely hating. I'm not crazy about Thursday night games. I did think I will say this: the atmosphere at App State, the atmosphere at was it Bowling Green? Was that last year?
Bowling Green, yes.
Okay, were phenomenal. So I don't hate them for that reason. I think Tennessee shows up. It's under the lights. I think it's a great time. I mean, man, there's something about Saturdays in the fall. You're only granted so many of them. That does probably put me out on the golf course Saturday morning, which is nice. I do like that. Maybe tailgating up in Johnson City. We'll just see what happens. But yeah, you only get so many Saturdays in the fall. And for me, they're Tennessee football, and it just is what it is. But I think it'll be a great environment. I like it under the lights. I'm excited for it. I like that. I don't know what channel it's going to be on, ESPN, ESPN2. It'll be on, it will be on cable, not on SEC network or something. So yeah, I don't hate it. And it does move football season a little bit closer. So that gets me a little bit more excited, but no, I'm not against it at all.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I would definitely rather play a night game on Saturday than Thursday,
and that's a noon game on Saturday too. So
right, you got to look at it to that perspective, like which one would you rather have, and maybe I still lean Saturday, but also like how hot it's going to be at that time. A night game on Thursday doesn't sound that bad either. And when you look at it, Pitt plays, your second opponent plays on Thursday as well. So just more time to prepare for that. Cool. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
I'll be there. So either way, so it doesn't matter.
It's way better than a Monday night game in Atlanta. I'll say that.
Yeah,
way better. No, it's exciting. Like I said, moves football season a little bit closer, so the countdown is even closer than it was. Let's go Ball State. Mac team, right? Another Mac team.
Well, Maction.
Yeah, well, Thursday night in action.
All right, we'll see.
Well, I think Toledo's Mac, right? So you've got the Doug's connection. So Mac, there's a little hostility there between Tennessee and some Mac teams.
Okay.
You got a story there to tell.
All right.
Some history with the Mac.
Max used to play on Thursdays.
No, that's a good point. Does Ball State more prepared?
Maybe.
Gotta ask the hard hitting questions.
Yeah. How does Tennessee's secondary look? We get a couple more days sooner to figure that out.
Absolutely.
Little recruiting. Got some guys in the boat this weekend, some in-state guys. You got earlier in the week, you got Nathan Robinson, 3-star defensive lineman from Greenbrier, Tennessee. Shout out. 6'5", 268 pounds. Just a guy that they could use off the edge. I think he had 23 sacks last season, which I think was one of the top players in the country in that category. Just a big, strong, quick, athletic kid. And he seems to have a really good head on his shoulders and, does a great job in interviews and really loves Rodney Garner. And, they're just something different when you get some in-state guys. I mean, props to the out-of-state kids who, see the vision when it comes to Tennessee, but it seems to mean something more when you get some of these in-state guys. And Tennessee only landed 2 last year. They already have 4 in this class. So seeing that kind of in those in-state kids really believe in their home state school is pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and it should be your strongest pipeline. And Tennessee's missed out on some of those guys with with the struggles of late and the coaching turnover. So to maybe start that, what should be your strongest pipeline, and it's nice to see. And you don't want to lose in-state kids to other SEC teams, especially.
Yeah.
So getting those guys is huge for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, and then later on the week, you landed a local kid out of Knoxville, Tennessee, at Knoxville Catholic, Trevor Duncan, who's a 3-star athlete, 6'5.5", 277 pounds. Being recruited to play both. We'll just kind of find whichever one they think he can really help Tennessee at. They'll put him at. But Ellerby and Rodney Garner are both pursuing him and both really big in his recruitment. So I think he prefers to play defensive line. I mean, why wouldn't you? Right.
Right. Be
Be
a little bit meaner at that position.
Yeah. Throw some people around, but and it's just more fun to get tackles than it is just blocking somebody.
Right.
You get to pad some stats on the defensive side, but Tennessee's trenches definitely got better with these 2 additions, and we'll see kind of where their career kind of takes off. But yeah, good to see the in-state talent choosing the Vols.
Absolutely.
That was kind of weird, the Kyler Casper thing, reclassifying and going to Oregon. He's on his official visit last weekend to Tennessee. I don't know. You had all the kind of signs pointing to Tennessee, and then picks Oregon. I mean, that's just one of those things. Like, it's hard to get those West Coast kids. I mean, we got Nico. You're not gonna let him off from the West Coast. So he does choose Oregon. I just think with a new coach and new quarterback, I just don't really know about, or that doesn't seem like a place where I'm just like, yeah, they're established, I want to go there. So is it more of just the West Coast factor? No, that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, and you told me, Dad wanting to stay there. I'm sure that has some, I'm sure it's not all the pool, but it's got to mean something. You talked about when Mama decides. Dad does have a say in it too. I'm sure, has sway in it. I'm sure maybe not as much as Mom, but definitely matters.
Yeah, when your dad plays in the NFL, I guess you listen to him a little bit more. But
right.
Yeah, but going to play for is. Who is? Oh, yeah. So it's Dan Lanning. I mean, he's a defensive guy. So I don't know, as a 4-star wide receiver, yeah, I want to go to Oregon over, playing where Cedric Tillman was a 2 to 3-star recruit and has 1,000 yards after he had a handful of catches his first 2 years on camp, or first 3 years on campus. So
right,
just didn't really make a ton of sense to me.
Yeah.
But whatever, we're gonna keep rolling into
no problem.
spring practice. I guess it's I don't know if it's completely over. I think they're still doing some stuff, but after the spring game, I'm sure a lot of people are kind of shut down in terms of contact and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, you get some segments.
Let's hit it. And then we've got in baseball, let's see, it's Bellarmine on Tuesday. Is that right?
Yep.
Did we mention that? Okay. Before they roll into series against Florida. So another big week ahead, obviously, with the SEC series, but this is SEC East too. Don't want to let guys make up ground there.
I think we got a 5-game lead in the East right now. So
okay, I like it.
Something slight.
Absolutely.
Most important.
Let's do it. Most important. I mean, the easy one is Lady Vols walk off, but I also had Jordan Beck. You mentioned it earlier in the show, rocking the Mike Honcho racing suit. Pretty legendary get up there.
For sure. Yeah, I love that. Also had Iona broke the streak. Got that first win of the season. I think they were on a 33-game losing streak. Comes to an end, so props to them. I don't think they won the series. I think they ended up losing the series, but props for them for getting over the hump and getting that win. Much needed, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. And it happened. It's funny. It happened the same week. 11.7 put out the whose streak's coming to an end first. So a little added there.
So Florida, they lost this weekend at Vanderbilt. They lost a series. So I think that's 2 series in a row that they lost. No, they beat Arkansas. That's right.
Yeah.
And they got swept by Georgia. They lost to LSU. They did beat Alabama. Yeah, they're a weird team.
For sure.
Getting swept by Georgia and then beating Arkansas the following weekend. Yeah. Weird team. I mean, the SEC just continues to kind of beat up on itself, but Tennessee is Tennessee. They reign supreme.
Yeah. Good luck.
Any more most important?
I think I have one more. Can't read that full thing, so don't want to do that one. I don't know if this is most important or fail, depending on how you look at it. The lady that glued herself to the floor, what game was that? It was a play-in game. Was it the Timberwolves game? Did you not see that? The lady came out, I guess you call her a streaker, pitch invader, excuse me, rolls out onto the court and just puts her hands on the court with glue on them, tried to glue herself to the court.
I mean, that's dedication.
It is it not? I want to know what type of glue she used. Are we just going like school, or is it like commercial grade?
Oh, that stuff that smells like a skunk?
Oh, yeah.
Or she just using that straight nasty Elmer's glue?
Who knows, man?
That orange tip Elmer's glue.
Yeah. I don't trust him.
That's insane. Was that a most important or is that a fail?
I can't decide.
Because I don't think I have any more most importance, but I do have a couple fails in here.
Well, let's get into the fails.
So how about I don't know if they ever like said why, but yanking Clayton Kershaw when he had 80 pitches after the 7th inning and he had a perfect game going, that's stupid. There's been 23 perfect games ever, and you just yank him. Just let him try. I mean, if the next batter hits a home run, you play so many games. Like,
it's not a no-hitter. He was in line for a perfect game.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, just didn't make a lot of sense.
No, not. You only get so many chances, let alone perfect games. You only get so many chances. Let's see. First, yeah. Do you have any other fails? Because
I do have one.
Let's hear it.
Vanderbilt tying in their spring game 32-32. They can't even win a spring game. How sad. Oh my God.
Spin zone, they can't lose a spring game.
I guess not. I mean, that's horrible. I love it so much.
Did you see where Rob Manfred left each MLB player Bose headphones and an appreciation note in their locker before opening day?
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, we don't want to pay you all that much, but y'all can have some headphones, courtesy of the MLB.
God, what a loser.
I love it.
Also, what do you think about this? I want to get your take on it. So, who are they playing? The Giants. So the Giants and the Padres are playing. Mauricio Dubon bunts with a 9-run lead in like the 6th inning for a hit. Padres didn't like it, of course. Back to those unwritten rules. I mean,
the unwritten rules are just so dumb, man.
I mean, there's been blown 9-run leads, and it's not like it's the 9th inning; it's the 6th.
I guess if we're gonna let's equate it to another sport, are you gonna, in football, if it's 3rd and 2, are you gonna try to run and get a first down, or are you just gonna kneel to keep the clock rolling? I mean, are you gonna if he can get on base and that's how he whatever, stop him from getting on base?
Right. Yeah, it's that. And it's also like there's more. Like if you're in a series, there's more to it than just like I need to win this game. I'm trying to get deeper in their bullpen.
Yeah.
That's a work. That could be the difference in a series where you're having to pitch somebody that, hey, we're just gonna rock at the end of this thing.
Yeah. A bunt's not an automatic hit.
Yeah.
You can still do your job.
Yes, I mean, sorry about it, but it's not like he swung 3-0 and hit a freaking towering home run, which I would agree is kind of the same thing. Right. I mean, the guy bunted.
Yeah.
Let's not make it any more than what it is.
I would almost be more upset if, he's on first and next guy up hits a double and he tries to stretch it to home for no reason. It's almost like that one. You're like, yeah, if we're going to go into unwritten rules, that's not one anyone complains about. I'm like, you could have stayed at 3rd. And if we're going to sit here and complain about people trying to score, I mean, we're talking about a guy getting on base.
Yeah. Yeah. It didn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, Padres, you just look soft for that. So,
yeah. Unwritten rules are dumb. There's reasons they're unwritten, guys.
Exactly. That's all I got.
Guys, we really appreciate y'all. A lot of people in the chat tonight. Also, shout out to Zer. He said you mentioned not a charge. He didn't drop in the chat, but you can go see the tweet reply. He said definitely not a charge. Didn't even fall down. I gotta agree. I'm not handing out a charge for a guy who's not even willing to hit the deck. So
for sure,
not willing to do it. I also thought Tony was under control. A lot of people said he was out of control. I thought there was a lot of upper body constraint there that he could have added some more. I don't think I could give that guy a charge ever.
Yeah. Also, we saw a picture and we posted the picture of Jeffrey on our Twitter, and Vols-Wire already said, "This is a Vols-Wire USA Today Sports own photo." I just replied back, "Shut up."
And we're gonna have to delete it.
We are?
Yeah, we could get a cease and desist. No. Which is kind of dumb. We don't make money off our Twitter. It's like we just shared it.
Well, somebody sent it to me. I didn't get it from your site, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to. It's pretty dumb, but we're gonna have to. I mean, I can understand it to an extent, but it's like, I don't know. We're not profiting off of it.
Yeah, whatever.
So,
I mean, USA Today is one of the worst.
Good pictures of a terrible guy, but
yeah, I don't know why you spend all your time taking pictures of an umpire, but okay,
yeah.
cool. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate, but them's the rules, I guess. Very Jeffrey of him, I think, but
Can I just like
it's okay.
tag them in it and that works?
Well, it's up to them, but yeah, it doesn't fall under free use technically, which I feel like Twitter should be a free use.
Yeah, because isn't kind of everything stolen?
Again, we're not profiting. I'd get it if we were making money off of your photo. We're not.
Yeah, definitely not.
We're not.
I mean, you're not making money on his photos regardless anytime. So
Well, guys, seriously, thank you all for listening. Thank you for making Lindsey Nelson rowdy, even without the students in town. It was a hornet's nest. It was nasty. It was a lot of fun. Do it again next home series. For now, though, we'll take our talents to Florida.
yep, we'll be back with a bat flip maybe tomorrow, depending on the rain a little bit. And then if not, we'll be back Wednesday night with the bat flip, going a little bit more depth about each game. And yeah, that's all we got. Thanks again for listening. Free Tony. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.